Chris, are you starting to believe yet?
I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to believing.
What a hell
10%.
of a game, man.
That was an awesome game to watch. Just finished watching Florida Detroit. I'm Chris. That's
I'm
Josh.
Josh.
This is Wingscast. Yeah, I mean, it was three solid periods put together. I caught the entire third. I caught bits and pieces of the first and second. I was at something, but
Sure.
um, the first goal against Ned wasn't anything on him. That deflection down, couldn't do anything with that. Um, I thought Ned
Second
was
goal shouldn't have counted. Should not. It was a poorly officiated game. They even went to
yeah.
the rules guy on that. Um, and he even said there was no sight of the puck. In fact, this ref was skating out. He's like, well, the ref's skating up to do it. It's like, okay, you can't see it then. Blow the whistle.
Yeah.
But great all around game by Ned.
Yeah, this is the first game by Ned. I can say like I see what why they went after him. I didn't watch much in Carolina,
Hmm.
but yeah, this I mean the guy plays the puck really well. I think a lot of times he's really efficient with the puck. He's real quick touch, doesn't hold it, doesn't meander with it. Like some goalies will. It's like on his stick and off, out of the glove, onto a stick, the other way.
Yeah, really, he played everything. It seemed like he wanted to play everything, and he was good at playing everything. I think the late game faceoffs kind of him playing the puck kind of got rid of those late game faceoffs that we were terrible at. By the way, I watched Rass lose an offensive and a defensive zone, two big ones, and he was big the whole night. He was five, I think 5 for 10 that night or tonight at one point, and then he lost two straight after that, and one of them in the defensive zone. So Ned actually playing the puck like that, being part of the breakout, that's going to be huge. We haven't. I don't think we've had a good goaltender that plays since Hasek, really.
Yeah, Jimmy wasn't big on playing it.
No,
Peter wasn't either. So yeah, maybe. Could have been all the way back.
no. Peter cost us a series playing the puck.
Well, I don't
So,
know.
yeah, the first goal, nothing he could do. The second goal shouldn't have counted. So,
And the third,
what's
well,
that game look like? I mean, at that point, our goals, on the other hand, man, that team going down 2-0 twice, coming back, and
yeah, two
just
in a row down 2-0, right?
that's huge for a young team. And then goaltending being as stout as it was that whole time. I mean, that sequence when we were blocking shots at 20 something block shots tonight. That's what it's going to take to beat teams like Florida.
That block sequence where they block about
Insane,
6 or 7 shots in a row. I mean, you could just see how much pain Ernie was in. Fabry took a couple of the legs. That was,
right?
those didn't feel good, but they stayed at it. It was a wild sequence to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be Florida. I think I told you. I think that's the best. That's going to be the best team in the playoffs going forward. They play like that. Bobrovsky, I thought for sure that game was over when they scored that second goal because Bobrovsky was playing that well. Then
He's
we
played,
got that first,
yeah, he's played
and
very well this year, which is good for Florida because they have so much money wrapped up in him.
yeah. Well, here's the question too. I mean, getting rid of Glendening, getting rid of Helm, and then bringing in Tangay to come in here. What has that done to the culture? Because these guys are playing. I don't even recognize some of these guys out there aside from the names, but they're playing with a bit of confidence that we haven't seen before. I would say. I know it's cliche, but you wouldn't see this last year. We would have folded up shop after the second goal.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I I agree last year when, but here's the question: why was it the low event hockey we were playing? I mean, we even seen it in the Calgary game this year that there was nothing after being down. Like we just kind of shut down and well,
Right.
we just don't want to lose by any more. We'll just take the loss at three, at two versus losing by three. We don't want to do that.
Right.
That hasn't been the case the last two. The last two they've really tried to push the puck down the ice. I think sometimes like we've seen on the power play a couple times tonight. The power play wasn't great. They didn't set up. It was kind of back to that we're just dumping and hoping type thing. So I guess you can't expect that to turn around, night and day
Yeah,
overnight.
I noticed they Florida took their foot off the gas even after the first goal. I noticed they came out with a 1-2-2 pretty aggressive forecheck, and we couldn't get anything going. Period. Then they let their foot off the gas in the second, so we saw a little bit of daylight and got a little bit more chances. And then in the third, I think we outplayed them completely in the third period.
They
Yeah,
definitely
obviously,
the last 10 minutes of the game, they definitely took their
they
they were going
checked
to play
out.
defense and they were just
They
going to try to
checked
win
out.
the game.
and they're a good defensive team, but at the same time, like it's that Blashill effect. Like you can't just shell up like that. If
Yeah.
they'd have put their foot on the gas after that second goal, they would have killed us. But they didn't. They let up, and I mean, even their penalty kill was all pressure, 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 and then all of a sudden they let up, and then we get into overtime, almost like they were playing for overtime. And I don't know how that play wasn't read because he was staring at the damn pass the whole time, and then Barkov with the long reach.
Well, I mean, the overtime goal's on Bertuzzi, right? Doesn't get back. Doesn't. I mean, he
Hmm.
doesn't try to stay with Barkov. He just lets him by him. I don't know if he's trying to, he's hoping the defense breaks up the play so he gets a jump, breakaway. I don't know, but it bit him in the end, right? Because both defensemen were they were on the right side of Ned.
Yeah.
Barkov just right down the slot and in. Like there was nothing that Ned could do about that.
Well, there's a lot of positives you can draw from the game, really there is. But at the end of the day, you didn't get the second point,
Well,
and
I'll
that's
draw the
that's what it's going
positives
to
for
take.
once. I'll go for the positives here.
Okay,
The first line is great.
it's a top line.
It,
Larkin's playing like a 1C right now.
yeah, and it's all coming from Larkin, who's battling far harder than we've probably seen him battle in 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
Completely different, especially from last year and the year before. I think too. Going back to his 71 point year, 72 point year in 1819,
Hmm.
19, 17, 18. I think it was 1819. Um, yeah, I don't know. He's a completely different player, and that line is fantastic because of it. Raymond, fantastic hockey IQ. I don't
He doesn't look like a rookie. That's the crazy thing. He
well.
looks like
He's
about a 3-year vet. You
yeah,
know,
he's even odds for the Calder right now, right?
yeah.
Or
So him and
even odds
Cider,
with Caulfield, I think, for the top. I'm not good at reading.
I think
Uh,
the two of them, I think Cider and Raymond are leading rookies in points right now.
they are the points leading rookies. Um, it's even between Caulfield and Raymond um, for betting odds. Lowest odds
Okay, yeah.
or highest odds
I
rather.
would take Raymond on that. I mean, it's I, I wa- I don't know what I don't know why I thought of this, but like 3 quarters through the game, I'm thinking to myself, Raymond would look better with that Igor Larionov helmet. Remember, like it was
Oh
so.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm like I think it would just fit his head better, but I don't know why I thought of that. I guess he looked like Larionov at the time, but um, those two. I mean, Sider, if he keeps the tear that he's on, I mean, he's going to score 20, and he's going to have 50 points. And if
I
that's the
think
case,
the
it's
way he's going, 50
unanimous.
points is very doable by Cider right now. I don't know if he scores 20 goals. I think that's pretty optimistic. Just being a
Who Raymond?
defenseman.
Raymond, we're talking about.
Oh,
Oh,
I thought
you're
you said
talking about
Raymond.
Sider. I was talking about Raymond. Cider,
Oh, I thought you
I
said Cider. Sorry, I
no,
misheard
no
you.
worries. I mean,
I think
30
Cider can
points from
get 50
Cider.
points.
Cider played the hell. He played 30 minutes. I think he had close to 30 minutes ice tonight.
I know with
So
little over 7 minutes left, they said he played like 23 minutes, and he played a
when it
lot of the
started OT,
overtime.
when they started OT, he was at 27 minutes and 33 seconds or something
Oh,
like that.
was he? Oh, they rode
Yeah,
him down the stretch then pretty hard. Then
that's
I guess I
good.
didn't realize he played that much in the last 7 minutes.
Well, they needed him. Him and DeKaiser. I was really surprised DeKaiser was out there because um, just history, but it made sense because of some of those guys. Well, you got Thornton out there who's got a long reach. You've got Barkov. We matched up well with them defensively with their big boys. So it was good to see Sider get Barkov minutes right there, playing against a top line like that. That's probably one of the best top lines in NHL right now, with Barkov being the best player in the history of the NHL. So it's really going to be tough to match up with them, but we matched up with them well just from our link perspective.
Yeah, I mean we're obviously we just watched the game, big game.
Hmm.
And we said on Wednesday basically that for the next 3 games it'd be great to get 3 points. Well,
Here we are,
they've got
3.
those 3 points. Still to play against Toronto Saturday, be today when we release this.
Yep.
So I would have loved to have seen them win tonight, but I think you almost take that as a victory. I mean, you came back again. You believed in the team. They kept their foot on the pedal the whole time.
Hmm.
Just pedal, gas to the floor, just keeping it going.
Right.
Top line was great. Sider, even when you notice Sider makes some like small mistakes, I mean, he works so hard to get it back that like there was one. he like turned it over in the corner. Like he kind of like knocked it back and Florida got it. I
Mhm.
noticed, and like he sees they're about to take it, up to the net, try to get a shot, and he comes back and just knocks the puck off the Florida player's stick, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like he just works. He'll outwork probably almost anyone.
Yeah, well, he's got the legs to do it since he's so young. It's his IQ's high too. I really do. I think his size kinda takes away the guessing game a little bit because he can reach a little bit more. But, positioning wise, on the power play, there was one sequence on the power play, I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's when he took the puck up, dumped it off in the neutral zone just over the red line, then stopped. And then Bertuzzi threw it across, and then it just went back in our zone. So that was the only time I saw, like, a real, like, "What the hell are you thinking there?" But, defensively, he's I think he's probably our top defensive player.
He is the top defensive player on the team.
Mhm,
His positioning is what really, when they talked about his drafting, his gap control, his, you know, backward skating speed, those things, or what people were like, oh yeah, he's gonna be this monster shutdown defenseman. And those things have only gotten better from his draft time. So in positioning on top of that, I mean, when you've got the gap control, the positioning, you can predict guys, coming in. No one's getting by you. You're
mhm.
you're gonna have a lot of success as a defenseman. And with the reach and everything else, the physicality, the frame, I mean, it's total package. Especially he has the offense. People basically said he's not going to have the offense is going to be there. He's going to be a great defenseman. I think he has the offense.
Well, the offense is there. We saw it with the wrist shot there. I mean, Suter getting that stick on there was huge, but for him to just come in and just rip a shot right there, especially when last year we were overthinking every shot,
Yeah,
um, for him to get it on just to get it on net, I mean, it was going to go in, So I uh, I think there's a lot of positives you can draw with that, but at the end of the day, if we're gonna compete, I think we're at a point in time where we should start looking forward to, okay, well, we just need to tie this up in a nice bow now. That game should have been 4-2 for us. I mean, we had power play after power play where we just couldn't manufacture. So I
the
mean, you
power
got to
play was
score at
yeah.
least two on some of those power plays, right? So, and the game was so poorly officiated. I'd rather him just let the game play out than not pull any power plays because it was you had a sequence there where there was two interference calls, one on Rasmussen that should have been an interference, and then Hronik obviously was an interference, and then there was one more in our zone that should have been a penalty. So I mean, it could have been a 4-on-4, 5-on-3 situation, you know, where what happens there, So especially with our power play, now we got a good enough power play to where those calls make a huge difference. So I'm glad they're cracking down on the cross checking because that cross checking was a penalty. I would have called it too, but it was
I think
just a
the
poorly officiated
I
game.
think the blatant cross checks were right in front of the ref, where
Yeah.
there's some people like where okay, you've got the guy right in front of you, you've got your stick on his back, and then you push him.
Hmm.
Like okay, you're pushing with the stick, but if you start like your forward motion off his back, it's a cross check,
Oh, for
right?
sure. I mean, well, and also when these guys cross check, it's not like it's a little love tap. I mean, they're getting
No,
right between that chest piece and the pants, which is your lower back. And the moment you start tweaking lower back stuff, I mean, that's your posterior chain. And if that you tweak that, it's a season long thing. It's like a high ankle sprain. You're dealing with it night in and night out. I mean, you're missing practice so you can heal, and then you got to wait till what February till you get your winter break, you know. So or that week off to heal. I mean, that's really or they shut you down, which we don't have the depth right now to do that.
right.
So it's good that they're cracking down on it. The game is still soft. I think there's a lot of things that they could just let go, but the cross checking for sure is something they need to crack down on.
Did you like the physicality tonight or no? I mean, some of it was there. I didn't think we played very physical for what I seen. There was a couple hits that were thrown, especially when the crowd got into it. They threw a couple more hits, but there was a couple times I seen Rasmussen. He could get a guy in the corner. He's coming in. A guy makes the last second decision where to put the puck. He could at least put something on the guy. Make him think. But off he skates. He peels off. He's the other way. He's not
Well, the
impacting the play at
physicality,
all.
exactly. They peel off, finish the check. I mean, I guess you let up on a veteran, an older veteran. But uh,
Well, I'm not even saying like crush the guy in the corner. I'm not
well, that's what
advocating for that. But I'm saying like get in there and like
put
give
your
him
body to him,
yeah, put your body
lean on
something.
him. Exactly. Well, that would have changed the course of this game. If this game would have started out with Detroit being physical, while still playing their game. I think we missed Smith tonight, um, definitely,
I don't think Rowney
because
had any impact from what I seen.
he didn't. He had one little thing where he kind of made a power move to the net and it got poke check away. That's the only time I really heard his name called. But we definitely missed Smith tonight, throwing the body. I think the physicality would have changed the game because teams like Florida, Tampa, their game is strictly skill. They're going to outskill you, right? So you got to find some way to get the upper edge, and you have to be physical. If Detroit would have came out physical tonight, it would have changed the whole dynamic. I think it would have thrown Barkov, that Huberdeau, and all them guys off their game. But it was really impressive for us to stay skill to skill with them. But at the end of the day, we got to win that game straight up. We should have won that game in regulation.
Well, we did. I mean, should have maybe. I don't know. I mean, you're playing a great team. You took them to overtime. I was okay with it. I'm not going to complain about the loss. Um, when are we on Zadina watch? When are we really worried here?
I'm not worried with Sedina. He manufactured that second goal. Honestly, he played that. He was the pivotal part of that. That line was dangerous the whole night. It was a shutdown line. Honestly, I mean, Butch Gross kind of made the comment that they were that shutdown line against Barkov, and they were out there against Barkov the whole night. So, um, I don't think Zadina's on watch. I think they just need to adjust their expectations of what kind of player he's going to be. Um, Raymond changed that. And what if we had Vrana tonight? I mean, Vrana and Zadina. When Vrana comes back, what does Zadina look like? That opens up space for him. I think Zadina is a 25, 30 goal scorer at his peak, because I think he's doing all the little things right now. We're kind of in that Mantha thing right now. What kind of player is he going to be when Blash lets up on him a little bit? We saw what Mantha did. He just kind of fluttered around, and obviously his ass was in Washington. And but if Zadina just puts his head down, keeps doing what he's doing, he was, I thought, pretty much the X factor tonight on that second goal.
We almost gave up. He almost gave up the game in the end. He had that incredibly errant pass about
Yeah,
15 foot behind, um, coming down the ice at the end of the game. Went back
yeah,
for the 2-on-1 or 3-on-1, whatever it was.
you got to keep him in the lineup. I don't think he's a trade piece. I think he's going to develop a little bit slower than Raymond. He's got a bit of an attitude, so we got to figure out a way how they're gonna, kind of steer that a little bit. And it's fine if you have a little bit of an attitude. It's fine. Cider's got a little bit of an attitude, but they've got it. So he's easy. He controls it. Zadina's he just plays pissed off. I think if you get him in that mindset to get ready when you get ready for the game, just to play pissed off all the time, like he did when he got drafted. He was pissed he got drafted later. Great, you know,
Well,
have that swag going into it.
he's justifying that later pick right now.
Right, but he's going to develop. He might develop a little bit slower. So, but his defensive game is good enough. And if you play defensive hockey in Blash's type of thing, you're gonna play. So, I'm not. I don't think
Well,
we're on Sedina watch.
in the Caps game, they actually dropped him a line, right? They brought Ernie to the second line.
Well, Ernie's hot right now. He proved it tonight too that block shots, blocked two, I think two or three,
In that
and he
one
was.
sequence, he blocked at least two.
Yeah, was he on the Rasmussen line tonight? Was Zadina?
Yeah.
So that was a great line. I thought it was. I think that should be our third line right there. So,
Well,
um,
he was other some. I don't know. I seen him with those two a couple times, but that might have just been. I honestly don't know because I didn't watch the whole game.
right.
I don't know where he was most of the game, but that's where I noticed him a couple times.
Well,
But
maybe he just needs one goal to get through here. I think he's already got one, right? So
yeah, he got one in the second game, maybe.
he needs to pick it up another. He needs just to pick it up a little bit more. He may be one of those guys like Fedorov was always like. Whenever he would upper level, he would play worse. Maybe Zadina's not that guy. So, or he is that guy. Just needs to back it down and play his game. Because last year I thought he played well. I thought he turned a corner.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my opinion on him still out. Well, what about Rasmussen? Are we still on watch? Are we
No,
happier,
I
sadder?
think he's reliable enough. He had really good face off percentage tonight.
Was he's
So
hovering around 50? I think it was 51%. I looked the other day, but his possession numbers were just
they are
horrible,
god awful. So,
like
but if
sub
he's
40%.
they're not good enough. Uh, but I think Ras needs to put on just a tad bit more muscle. If he puts on a tad bit more muscle, he can play like a more of a Bertuzzi type, where he's a straight puck protector.
It's just not his game though, right? I mean, I don't know what his game is though. I mean, he's drafted. power play specialist.
right?
I don't know where that went. I mean, he's not.
Well, he's either going to have to develop a shot or get thicker in order to protect the puck like that because he can be a power play asset. He is a power play asset when he gets free in front of the net. He draws a lot of attention in front of the net. Um, the thing is that we saw a lot of those chinks in the armor tonight because we played against the best team in the NHL, no doubt in my mind. That was one of the most polished teams I think I've seen in the last 2 years, even better than Tampa. So a really good measuring stick. Now you got to go into Boston or what we got Toronto next
Toronto, let's call it
Sunday
today,
or something. Yeah.
Saturday.
Well,
Yeah,
we got a back to back.
yeah.
Okay, so
And then Boston's, I think, like Monday or Tuesday. I think it's Monday.
yeah,
Tuesday?
so if we win one out of the next two, I'll be happy. Preferably Toronto.
Well, we said 3 points out of the next 3 games. We've got that, so I think we have to be happy. If only to keep our word about it. But I'm happy. I like the direction of the team. We very originally said this is going to be an entertaining team, and they are. So watching it isn't bad anymore. It's fun
Oh,
to
and
watch.
well, and the crowd's there too. So
Crowd was
that's
huge tonight.
it was big, and seeing everybody in there and in it, not a bunch of black seats, was nice to see. And that goal horn is still terrible.
Yeah,
It is god awful. They need to do something. I don't know what they need to do. I'd rather just not have a goal horn like the Colorado Avalanche did in the '90s, and just have a spotlight. But yeah, the energy was there. It seemed like it was electric after that little block shot sequence. So
right. They were on their
it's
feet.
good
They
to
gave a
see.
standing ovation for the block shots. Then the goal a couple minutes later it was awesome.
But yeah, well, we should have won that game though. At the end of the day, we should have won that game. I know everybody's happy. It was a great game to watch, but we should have won that game. And ESPN needs to find somebody else during the intermission break. That was Torts is great, but you got to have an instigator with him. You got to get that personality out, and they just don't have it. Like they're scared shitless of Torts. Just got to let it go. So
Fair enough. I thought it was weird. It was only on ESPN Plus tonight. That was it. It wasn't on TV anywhere. It's kind
well,
of odd.
I don't know what the contract is, but
Well, I'm sure
it's
they get
better.
these games to promote ESPN Plus, right? I mean, they're in it to make money, so they want people buying
It's good
ESPN Plus.
production. It really is.
I
Buccigross
thought
is
it.
better than I thought he was going to be.
I thought it was. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought the people calling the game were good. Which I know love Ken and Mick, but lately they've been pretty brutal to listen to.
Well, it seems like Kenny's just not into it anymore. It's
He just doesn't want
different.
to call the game. He just wants to go off in memory
Let's
lane
talk
with
to
Mick.
Mick. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, or that, or he's wanting to go. I think he was in line for that NBC job after Doc retired.
Oh yeah.
Doc Emmerich. I think he was in line for that. And so when he found out that they weren't going to renew that contract, I think he was just like, well, stuck with Bally, which I'd probably have the same reaction. But yeah, he wants to talk to he wants
They just want to,
he
yeah,
wants the boys in the booth.
yeah, they
You
just want to
know,
sit there and watch the game and have a couple beers. They don't want they don't want to have a job attached to
oh
it.
dude, Mickey's probably 6 7 beers deep by the time Kenny gets in there. So, but I agree with you on that. Kenny's been kind of brutal lately. Mickey will always be the same.
Well,
Um,
Mickey's always saying, but Ken used to keep them in the lane, and anymore they're off roading. Man, they're just
well, that could be just the way they want to go the broadcast, but I would rather Kenny just call the game, Mickey just talk about ginger ale or whatever, and then. But I will say that what's that lady's name? The Michelle is it Michelle Manion? Manion? Man,
yeah. I can't pronounce her last name. Sorry.
she's fantastic. She's actually really good. I like her accent and how it like fits with the hockey mood. So
Yeah.
I do like her. She's got pretty good points, and you know that whole intermission though segment. Keating was it Murph or no? It's not Murph.
I thought,
Ozzy
yeah.
and some I forget who else it is,
I thought
but
Osgood was good in the booth the other night.
yeah, he's good. He's good. He used to be terribly shy.
Yeah, he was. But he's come around. I actually think he's pretty decent.
But
I could go without Keating.
Keating looks like he's had a couple pops too because when
Sometimes he
he gets
does.
on there, he's got his face smiling, and
Yeah.
his when he smiles, his whole face smiles,
Yep.
and his face is beat red, and it looks
Yeah.
like he may have a little bit of rosacea, but it looks like he's had probably 15, 20 beers. He's got on his just sweating bullets, man. I can only imagine the smell of that booth.
Oh. All right. I don't
Love
have
it
anything
though.
else. I'm
I'm good.
excited.
I am too.
Excited to watch them against Toronto in Toronto. That's another big game. Hopefully, we get 2 points out of that. If we get 2 points out of Toronto, we get another point against in like the next game or two. We win another one, then I'll start to really believe
It's
that.
good teams right there. It's teams you're going to run into in the playoffs, right?
I don't know about Toronto, man.
Yeah,
Toronto's a disaster.
they got to get rid of the whole front office.
Marner's like nothing. Marner's a ghost.
I bet you Matthews requests a trade the next 2 years.
I don't know if he requests a trade, but I would not be surprised at all if he took the absolute shortest path to free agency that he could. He's up
It,
in I think he's up in 2 years.
oh, really?
Yeah, for a contract as a UFA.
I would go
So,
elsewhere. I go to a smaller market.
well, I mean, Arizona can line up to just give him a max contract
They could. I think he would go for less than max. I think he would go for less what he's making in Toronto
to play on a good team or to Arizona.
to Arizona.
I don't know. He seemed to want the money. I mean, he took a massive contract at 5 years.
They should have never signed Tavares, and they should have gave the C to Matthews, and then let those three be the and let Tavares run over to I think it was San Jose. He was thinking about at the time. Let him go to San Jose because they're not going to be anything for what the next until Eklund's. He's already playing, but
Yeah,
until the next
I think
5 years.
yeah, they got the Carlson Burns cap conundrum. But yeah, anyways, enough about other teams.
Yep.
Wings 1-1, almost 1-1. It's been fun. We'll see you guys Wednesday.
Yep.
Have
See
a
ya.
good weekend. See ya.